We're looking at a moment that says everything about the mindset behind some of these progressive activist women who rush into federal operations and call it courage. In a quiet Illinois suburb, a lawful ICE action turned chaotic after activists surged into the street, blocked vehicles, and created a dangerous scene for families and officers. But the moment that stunned viewers nationwide came from one woman, a progressive activist who admitted she brought her child into that chaotic crowd and then lost track of them once the scene became unsafe. Tear gas going off and all this crazy stuff, and she loses her kid. I want to know, why would any parent do that? Let me know in the comments. Is this like activism or clear negligence? I'm thinking negligence, but let me know your thoughts on that. Let's go ahead and get into it. So my name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway, and I'm also White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And what happened in Illinois shows how quickly activism can become reckless when emotions override basic responsibility. But before we continue, guys, please hit subscribe. We're a growing channel. Every like, comment, share, and subscription helps us bring in reporting that reaches more people. Also, sharing is very important, especially when poor decisions are putting children at risk. Take a look.
This is really the first we've seen of these federal agents in recent weeks since much of Border Patrol left the area. Now, things are calm out here in this neighborhood in Elgin, but it was certainly tense between protesters and federal agents. At some points, we even saw clouds of tear gas taking over this area. You could see in the video.
That's what happens when you assault federal officers. You get tear gas and more.
Crowd there with canisters of tear gas being deployed, and even some children were in the crowd when that happened. Now, Elgin police tells us this actually all started this morning around 9, as they say.
Look at all the kids. Look at all the children. All right, so this lady's very important. The lady in the purple with the hat. Keep watching. She's running away, irresponsible, right?
A federal agent called the department to report that they were involved in a traffic crash while conducting immigration enforcement near West Highland Avenue. Now, police say the
So she's made that, pay attention because it's important what that woman's doing. She's making snowballs and stuff to throw at the federal officers, but she's supposed to have somebody with her.
Agents reported that a person fled that area, ended up here near Maple Lane. Elgin police says shortly after that, several residents called them about agents being in the area, stating that they had a warrant. There was also reports of shots fired on this block. Elgin police determined that was not the case. They did determine that federal agents dispersed chemical agents, and local police had to provide medical treatment to those who were exposed to it before they left the area. Now, it's not clear if federal agents actually detained anyone. We did reach out to DHS for details, have not heard back on that. Protesters, though, of course, were upset with these immigration operations, as we've seen in recent months, including Illinois Senator Christina Castro.
I was out there, got some of it, made sure people were safe. People deserve the right to due process here. And here they are disturbing my city, my hometown, where I've been born and raised, striking fear amongst the Elginites that are here. And you know what? They just need to go home.
Then don't harbor illegals.
I was able
This
to
is
get
it. Okay. This is the white liberal women that people always warn you about. She's like the queen bee of them. But just what she says. You saw her. She was the one packing snow and running back and forth and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. There was one problem with that. She had a child with her that wasn't present, nor was she caring about the kid.
everybody off to one side and then realized my 3-year-old was gone and she was in the middle of the tear gas. Somebody scooped her up and got her out of the way.
Somebody else was more responsible for her child than she was. You brought your child to an active riot and then lost your child. And that admission matters, folks. She admitted it. It reveals a troubling trend where some progressive activist women show up to these protests with stronger interest in making a statement than protecting the kids that they bring along. They claim to be standing up for families, yet they put their own children into unpredictable environments with federal officers trying to control a growing rioting crowd. I want you guys to let me know in the comments, should minors ever be present at a protest that's this unstable? The officers held back because of these kids that are there. And now that these liberals are learning, like, hey, we should bring kids to this, it's just going to keep spiraling until something horrific happens, and they're going to blame the administration. And federal agents were carrying out a lawful action when activists surged forward, blocked vehicles, and ignored instructions. Officers had to divert attention just to keep people safe, including the child this activist admitted she lost in the confrontation. And residents say they watched their quiet street turn into a disorderly scene within minutes. It was their fault. And once again, it wasn't the law enforcement causing the instability. It was the adults who didn't think through the consequences of their actions. Anyways, this entire situation shifted the moment that activists admitted she brought a child into an environment that she could not control. I am not a helicopter dad. I'm pretty close to one. My kids don't look at danger unless I'm very heavily supervising that danger, because I don't think any kid should ever not experience that, because that's how they grow their confidence. you don't bring your kids to an active riot scene. And that decision alone tells you what priorities were in play. And if you guys got value from this update, please just report. My throat's killing me today. Tap subscribe and share this update. My opinion is next. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps support real journalism for patriotic Americans across our nation. So here's what stands out. This whole incident became a national story, not just because activists interfere with the lawful ICE operation, which happens almost every day across the country, unfortunately, but because a progressive activist this white liberal woman openly admitted she brought her child into the middle of that chaos. That choice exposed a deeper problem, activism that prioritizes symbolism over safety. When an adult drags a child into an unpredictable crowd and then loses them in the confusion, it shows a stunning lapse in judgment, to say the least. And when that same adult blames the environment rather than their own decisions, it becomes clear that the child was never the priority. This is the kind of decision making that undermines public safety inside of our republic. Children should never be pulled into political theatrics, especially when the adults involved can't maintain control of the situation that they helped create. Guys, stay alert, stay informed, God bless, and if you know anybody that's doing things like this, please stop them. It's not healthy.